Welcome to the latest episode of First Impressions, where I try out brand new video games so you don't have to. And this is an incredibly special one because I have literally just finished Kingdom Come Deliverance, the first game. And within an hour, I started playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I was gifted the game and very, very grateful to have early access to it. So today, I'm going to be taking you through about an hour's worth of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 gameplay, and at the end of that hour I'm going to give you my thoughts on the game so far. Look, the first hour is basically all set up. There's no real spoilers in there. It's getting us back into the story, it's giving us a little snippet of what's to come, but also taking us back directly where Kingdom Come Deliverance finished off and where Hans and Henry are in their journey up to one of the kind of first big turning points in the game, I guess. So there's no major spoilers in this, but I will be taking you through the first hour of the game kind of unedited. I really love playing this, and as I said at the end of this video, I'll put chapters below. You can see what I think of the game, whether I recommend it. If you like Kingdom Come Deliverance, then I think you're gonna like this. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. There's going to be more Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 content coming. I'm going to be continuing playing through the game. Let me know if you've got any questions about the game down below, and let me know if you're going to be getting it. But for now, let's join Hans and Henry on their little trip to deliver a letter. Let's see how they get on.
Dentes fortuna juvat!
They look sharp.
What's that you keep yelling, Sir Hans?
Good gracious, Henry, you don't mean to tell me you don't know Latin?
My apologies, Your Grace. Unfortunately, I was too busy shoveling shit and picking turnips to find time for studying Latin.
We shall have to
What do I
rectify
say
that.
about this?
I
I have literally only just finished my very first playthrough of Kingdom Come Deliverance. I'm playing this on the 30th of Jan, so this game is going to be out in 3-4 days, something like that. So I'm like the first game is very fresh in my mind. I finished it today, and I started playing this one today. There's been maybe a couple of hours between the two games. So actually for me, there's some difficulties to it because I'm like having to unlearn some of the stuff that I learned from the first game. One of the big things that they talked about in the first game that people were talking about regarding the first game was the combat system, the way you fought, the kind of directional stuff and the combos, that it was quite cumbersome. It was especially cumbersome when you were fighting multiple people. Now, I haven't had the opportunity in this game yet to fight multiple people, but what I can say is that the combat system feels much more modernized. The first time you play the original combat system, it all feels very manual, very slow, and not very reactive, not very intuitive. But also that it didn't feel like when you were pressing the buttons that it was necessarily, you didn't have any kind of indication of whether you were hitting stuff at the right time, apart from blocks that were fairly clear. But when you were doing combos, whether you were hitting the combinations at the right time was quite difficult to tell. In this one, first of all, they've reduced the number of kind of directions. In the previous game, you had up, upper right, upper left, lower right, lower left, and center. Those were the different directions you could hit in. In this one, it just seems like you've got kind of right, left, and kind of down / center. They've kind of built in all the haptics with the controller now, with a kind of more modern controller, so you get more of a feel of when stuff is hitting. And the controls just make more sense I'm using a DualSense controller, which I realise is weird for a PC, but it makes more sense for a controller mapping, because things like sprinter with the joysticks, everything is kind of where you'd expect it to be a little bit more. R2 is your kind of attack button. They still have the directional stuff, but it's just much more reactive. It's much quicker. There might be some complaints that makes this less realistic. I think what some people hated about the first combat system was that it felt slow, and for the same reason, other people loved it because they were like, yes, this is more realistic. So there might be a split decision on that, but for me, it felt like if you're new into it, you will get used to it so much quicker. whereas the first one took ages for me to get used to. And I had to go back and do the training and stuff. And they've got to some of the more kind of basic mechanics of the fighting much quicker in this. It's not like you're having to relearn stuff like the perfect parry, riposte, and all that stuff, which were skills that you had to learn because Henry didn't have any of that stuff. Thankfully, they haven't given Henry any kind of weird amnesia where you have to relearn a lot of that stuff. It's just re-showing you how to do it with the new control map. So the combat system feels like it's a modernized and simplified version of what was there previously. So similar mechanic, but definitely simplified, definitely more reactive, and really, really solid. One of the challenges, as I was talking about, we were going through this when I was playing this, is that there will be some people who are playing this who haven't played the first game, or haven't played the first game for a long time. So there's a little bit of world building and kind of reintroduction to the characters that you have to get to. And they've done a little bit of that with kind of Henry talking about his past and, them kind of hinting at when they meet and stuff. But I guess it feels so far like you could play this without having played the first game. But like a lot of sequels, you might miss out on some of the Easter eggs. You might miss out on some of the nuances of what's happening in terms of, like, why are these two people together? Why is Henry acting in this way, that way, or the other? Let's talk about the kind of inventory area, the inventory player, sidekick, codex area. They have completely changed this and cleared it up a lot. One thing I really like is the 3 different outfits, because, there should be different outfits for different occasions, right? But the process of changing your clothes in the old game, in Kingdom Come Deliverance, was so cumbersome because you literally had to go and change every item of clothing, whereas with this, you can go and say, okay, this is my battle attire, this is my full plate armor. You can go, okay, this is my stealth armor, where it's quiet, less visible, and then this is my kind of noble outfit that I'm wearing when I'm going to court or whatever. That makes absolute sense for you to just be able to change that very, very quickly. You got your new sidekick in the little doggo there. Presumably you'll be able to do stuff like, you can see in my gameplay, I haven't actually done it, but you can track things. The dog will probably be able to help you to hunt. Maybe it will help protect you, who knows. So there's all that kind of stuff going on. Generally speaking, environmentally, it looks stunning. It looks like a big step up graphically, both in terms of character animation, character graphics, and environment graphics. Just look pristine. I haven't actually gone through and optimized this for my setup. I'm playing on PC with an RTX 4070 Super, a Ryzen 9 7950X 3D, 64 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM. It's a fairly new machine, so it's handling games like Indiana Jones, for example, which is has been notoriously kind of hard going on systems. This looks beautiful on whatever the default settings are at the moment. I haven't gone in and optimized it in any way. I haven't changed any settings from what the game defaults at. And the environments do look great. There's some lovely little things like, I can walk through a bush in this game, which wasn't in the first game. You would get stuck in quite things that were immovable in the game but wouldn't be immovable in reality. Things like bushes, small trees and stuff like that would really make it difficult to navigate the terrain. I'm still looking forward to going, okay, how do we navigate in this game? What does fast travel look like? Are the directions clearer in terms of when you're navigating from this place to that place? A lot of the previous game, a lot of my frustration with the previous game, which I really enjoyed, was around the fact that I just I'd be spending like 20 minutes trying to find a tailor because it wasn't clear on the map where it was. There was no rotation on the map. These are the things that I want to look at in more detail to go, is this, have they changed this at all? Have they added anything to this to make it clearer? So there's still some stuff that I'm getting to, but as an opening scene, they've with the opening scene, they've done that thing where they give you a snippet of the story that's obviously coming later. So they've started somewhere in the middle of the story and then kind of gone backwards to directly where the last game finished off. So you get a little snippet of what's to come, which is a nice little teaser and was a lovely little opening. You play as a different character. You get to, a very, very mini tutorial on using swords, on using crossbows, very, very quick. And then it kind of flashes back again to, right, this is directly after we finish Kingdom Come Deliverance. Henry and Hans are going to deliver this letter, and you're joining them on that journey. And it's a lovely opening. What I will say about this game and about the previous game is this is not like run and gun fast paced. If you do not enjoy big cutscenes, lots of dialogue, huge dialogue trees, then you're going to struggle with this. I don't mind that. I like a lot of cutscenes. I like big story-driven games. I like RPGs. You know, this can be on rails for you if you just follow main storyline, or you can go off and do your own thing. You know, there's either way you can do that. But even in the last game, there were times where I was like, God, there's a lot of talking here. This conversation tree is so huge. And sometimes you feel like you need to go through it because there's so much richness, so much detail, so many clues within the dialogue that you feel like you want to talk about that. You want to go through that. You want to listen to it. But sometimes it's like, okay, I just want to get to the bit now. Certainly towards the end of the last game, you know, I really didn't want to go and collect 200 pieces of meat and 100 kegs of beer and whatever. I just wanted to have the battle. And it made me work so hard and wait so long to get to that final battle that, you know, when it came to the end of it, I was like, okay, I'm glad. But this game is like, feels like more of the same, but a better version of that, if that makes sense. More of the same, but they've improved a lot about it. Graphically, battle mechanics, the dialogue seems smoother. You know, your decision trees are sometimes they're simple. It's an agree or disagree thing, which is nice. It wasn't in the previous game. It kind of speeds it up a little bit. And I'm an hour in, really, an hour into the game, and I think what we've seen so far is a good indication of what's to come. I'll be sharing more content with you guys on this as we go through, so please do hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And don't forget to go and wish this game. Go and check it out because I think it's brilliant. I will say this game was gifted to me, and I'm very, very grateful because, you know, I'm so new to the Kingdom Come crew, if you like, the Kingdom Come community, that getting the opportunity to play this early has been an absolute pleasure. I've really loved the first hour or so, and I'm excited to continue playing the game. It feels like there's a big story to come with this one. So do go and check it out.